Hey everybody, what is going on and welcome back to another Tuesday video. I have a crap load of parts here we're going to get through. I have stuff for the Trans Am, stuff for the Tahoe, stuff for the Camaro. So let's just go ahead and get started because there's a lot of good stuff here. First thing I want to open up and show you guys is this box that I got from Super Clean. They got in touch with me on Instagram because they saw my Tahoe cleaning video and they wanted to send me some stuff. So we got a couple of shirts here. Got a black one, purple one, sent me a hat, and then there's just a bunch of different kind of like Super Clean products in here. So we have Tough Task Cleaner Degreaser. So this will probably be good for the engine bay. It's like an aerosol can. Then we have some Foaming Super Clean. Once again, this will probably do really good on the engine, like with the valve covers and all that crusty stuff where you really need a cleaner to kind of sit on there and break this stuff down. Then we have the classic regular Super Clean. And they also sent me Super Clean Wheel Cleaner. So we're definitely going to try this out on the Trans Am because that thing hasn't been washed yet. Definitely needs a really, really good cleaning. And then it just comes with the bottle tops. Then we have this mixed bottle so I can dilute it down with this. But huge thanks to Super Clean for sending this to me. The marketing assistant, Jessica Heffling, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. She got in contact with me and said she wanted to send me all this stuff. So we're definitely gonna put all this stuff to use on the Trans Am. I'm hoping I'm gonna get to cleaning that up soon because the weather is finally starting to break. Tomorrow it's gonna be like 70 out. I'm probably gonna shoot the engine bay cleaning with this stuff tomorrow. So now the weather's clearing up, we're gonna get a lot more done and finally get around to making some progress. So the next thing we have here is for the Tahoe. I went onto eBay and picked up a new airbag as well as a new steering wheel from Summit, just because that's really the only thing aside from like the backing on the driver's seat that's kind of like cracked open. That's really the only other piece of the interior that's really kind of showing its age and showing the 200 and something thousand miles that it has on it. But I went on to Summit, and this is a common wheel for these trucks that a lot of guys pick up. It is a leather Grant reproduction wheel. So it's pretty much the exact same style as the one that's on there. It's just a little bit sportier looking. Like the bolsters here, you can see they're a little more aggressive. The stock wheel on the truck is just a regular circle. So it's definitely a little sportier looking. It is leather wrapped, which is nice. And this is gonna look really, really good in there. With the other piece I picked up, GM has a habit of using a lot of, they reuse steering wheels in a lot of cars. Like the wheel that's in the Corvette, like in the C6 Corvette, they use that wheel in Cobalts, they use it in Saturns, they use it in a lot of cars. They just kind of like, you know, they'll change the emblem on the wheel, whatever, maybe add some paddle shifters, but for the most part, they're not too good with steering wheels. Anyway, I went onto eBay and I picked up a Trailblazer airbag horn button. And to me, this thing just looks, you know, it's a little nicer than what's in there because the stock one is just kind of that cutout with the Chevy logo. And they use that airbag in this style wheel in a ton of trucks. I mean, the airbag alone, they use it in like heavy duty GM trucks, you know, Savannas, express vans. So it's really not unique to the truck. So I wanted something just to make it a little nicer and kind of a little more upscale looking. So I think this is gonna look really, really good. And especially with this wheel, I mean, look at that. That looks so much nicer than what's in there right now. It looks sportier. It just looks cleaner to me. Give you guys a close-up of that. And then this airbag cost me, I think, 75 bucks shipped. And it came out of a Trailblazer with like 16,000 miles on it. So you can see it looks like pretty much new. All right, now on to some more Trans Am stuff. Where I left off in last Tuesday video, I said I ordered the stuff for the rear brakes. The hardware kit came in. As I mentioned, this was like really cheap. I think it was like $3. We got a whole fresh hardware kit for the rear drum brakes. I'm going to be tackling this tomorrow as well. And then for Trans Am episode 3, I forgot to touch on the speedometer not working. When I pulled that cluster out, there wasn't a cable in there. So this is an 86. I always thought that the 80s cars had a speedo cable. I know my Camaro did, and that's an 86. This car doesn't. I don't know if something was changed on it or what, because the cluster isn't original to the car. But regardless, there's no cable in there, but there is a connector and a speed sensor on the transmission. But the thing is, the speed sensor that's in the car isn't for an 86 because I pulled it out, I got a replacement from Rocco, or tried to change it, it didn't fit. It was a completely different style. The style that's in there is from like a 91. So I figured I could just go ahead and swap in another 91 sensor. I tried looking for one. I couldn't find anything locally. Nobody had it. I had to go back onto Rock Auto, order another one. I ended up finding this AC Delco one that appears to be correct. I had the Speedo gear inside. So upcoming video, we're going to be changing this probably when we do the transmission fluid. I'm going to do it all in one video. Hopefully this is going to get the gauge working. And then here, for some reason, the connector, there's like an update on the connector or something because the terminal is different from what's in the car. And then finally, we have boring old brake shoes. So that's pretty much everything for the Trans Am brake wise. I have some lines I picked up. We're going to replace the brake line on the rear axle. While I do this in the next video, we already have the drums you saw last week, as well as the wheel cylinders. So we're good to go on getting the rear brakes fixed up on that thing. So everything I have left right now is for the Camaro. We have quite a few goodies here. Starting off, I got a rear main seal because when I put the motor in, it had like 89,000 miles on it. I don't know how many it has on it now. It's definitely over 100 for sure. So while I'm in there, and I already spent $1,800 on that triple disc monster, it's definitely a good idea to get a new rear main in there. I also just gave in and bought the alignment tool. Then I got some new band clamps because when that Y pipe comes off, I do not have confidence in the clamp sealing again. They're probably all stretched out. So just to be safe, we got some new Y pipe band clamps for the headers, along with some ultra copper Permatex. This is also used to seal up the header where the band clamp meets by the bolts. You just put a little dab of this in there before you tighten them down. That'll make sure they don't leak at that point. And right here, we have a QuickTime scatter shield. Now, I was really on the fence about getting this thing. It cost like, I think it was like 700 bucks. It was like $699. Yeah. So I really didn't want to buy it, but the fact that I got the new rear in there, I'm on drag radials right now. I'm putting another clutch disc in there right now. I have a twin and I'm going to a triple. I just figured it's probably a good idea, especially since this is required at like a certain speed. I think 11.5 and under for manual cars, you're supposed to have it. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is definitely something that you hope you're never going to need, but it's definitely a good idea to have because essentially, for any of you guys who don't know what this is just a bell housing for the transmission, but it is a thick ass bell housing that's meant to contain the clutch just in case you know, you launch too hard or for any reason the clutch just decides to blow up and fly to pieces. Instead of the disc flying through the car, going through the hood, damaging the engine, going through the trans tunnel and taking your leg off, it's all going to be contained in this thing here. So it's definitely a good thing to have. I figured the transmission's going to be out, so now's going to be the time to do it, especially since I have the better rear in there, and I'm definitely going to be beating on it a lot harder and probably launching it at a higher RPM now. I'm not just going to be coming off of idle anymore. This hopefully isn't going to give us a problem. This is for a 4th gen. It should fit. But in addition to having this, I went and picked up these dowel pins because essentially when you're putting this on, there's a chance that it's not going to line up perfectly centered with the crankshaft. So what's going to happen is when you put the transmission in, either there could be some stress on the transmission input shaft just because it's kind of off-centered, and that could lead to like bearing wear or possibly, you know, it's hard to go into gear. So these are adjustable dowel pins. Essentially, they're offset. So you put these in there, and if the bell housing is kind of too far up to one side slightly, you put these in here, you turn the screw, and that'll let you pull it down and center it, and then you just use a dial indicator to measure it. So these things were expensive. These were 105 bucks each. I got 2 sets because we're doing this hopefully in just 2 days we'll have everything done. So I don't know if I need the 7,000s or the 14. I hope I don't need the 21,000s because I didn't pick those up. I just want to show you guys my wheel again. You can see the factory wheel. It's just a little boring. Like I said, it's pretty much the same thing using express vans and work trucks and all that stuff. Leather is in pretty good shape. It's just all the bolsters are just worn down, falling apart, look pretty gross. The rest of the interior is so clean now. That's really the only thing aside from the headliner, which, as I said, it's really not too bad. It's just kind of coming down over there. And then this little piece of the seat. This is the only thing that's really showing a lot of wear. You can see the seat bottom there is looking really nice since we replaced them. But, I mean, just look at that. That looks so much nicer than that. I mean, even if you guys have a steering wheel that's in good shape, you could just swap the airbag out. This is probably going to get its own video, because we're going to have to pull the wheel off, get the airbag out of here, pull all the switches, the harness out of the wheels, transfer it over to this one, and then we're gonna have the little vinyl decals that are gonna overlay all these spots, so the steering wheel is pretty much gonna look like brand new when we're done. Once again, before I close this video out, guys, merch, it's available. I have hoodies, I have t-shirts, I have long sleeve tees. Go click the link on the screen if you want to go check that out. Be on the lookout for Friday's video because we're going to be performing the luminol blood test on this thing. We're going to see if any of those mystery stains may have been blood or some other kind of bodily fluid. Who the hell knows? Definitely look for that one. That's coming out on Friday. I know a lot of you guys were waiting for that. But if you don't follow me on Instagram, link is going to be in the description as always. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Friday.